Greetings live from the Nexon Arena here on Monday night for Pro League once again. My name is Brennan Valdez, joined by Moonglade. How are you doing today, Moonglade?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, as always, Valdez, man. I'm so excited to be here once again, and what a night of games we have.
Yeah, man, to start things off, we got CJ Entus versus KT Rolster. It is match number 21 of round one. We are coming close to the end of round one here, Moonglade.
We are. It's already been, how many, like 5 weeks of Pro League already? It's
yeah.
Like, we're really getting close to the end. Things are really heating up. All these matches are so important at this point, and we're going to see who's going to come out on top very soon.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how everything comes into play here. A lot of fighting at the top. CJ Entus did just get taken over by SK Telecom T1 for the first place spot. And of course, we got a lot of other teams in the middle there trying to fight their way into the playoffs for round number one. Of course, it is very important to get as many points as possible so you can get into that final playoffs.
Those finals, Valdez. And I mean, we have KT today. They're actually doing surprisingly badly this round. They've got a lot to catch up on.
Oh yeah, they really, really do. As you guys can see here, 2-3 so far, -3. They are just barely on the edge of making the playoffs for round number one. That's not the place you want to be as the former champions.
They lost to Prime last round.
That actually happened.
Last week. They lost to Prime 3-2. Massive upset, completely unexpected. But let's see what they can do today. It's going to be SkyHgih against Zest to start things off.
Yeah, funnily enough, today, even though they're going up against CJ Entus, currently the second place team here in Pro League for round number one, I feel like the matchups that are coming out today, the players that are actually going head-to-head today, I would not be super surprised if KT was actually able to bring this to an ace match.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the matches, you're starting off with Zest. Obviously, he had a bit of a stumble last week against Creator in PvP. Luckily, not the same matchup, but he is playing against SkyHgih, who's shown quite powerful TvP in recent times. Hot 6 Cup, he was doing very well for himself. And I think he's played one TvP so far this season in Pro League, and it was against Myungchik. So, he's not doing too bad for himself. He's kind of come a long way in a very short amount of time. Let's see what he can do today against a monster like Zest.
Yeah, the big interesting thing to me to see SkyHgih actually coming out first here for CJ Entus. They have so many other players on their roster that are so good, namely Biel, Byung, and Hero, who are all going to be playing today, but they decide to send out SkyHgih first. And usually what you want to do with the player that comes out first is, of course, get the momentum, get the first win. But I guess, maybe just thinking that this is a good map for Terran. Of course it is. We're going to be on Catallena. And it's especially good against Protoss. Yeah,
it's not bad at all. And here's the rest of the matches. Hero against Flash, game number 2. That should be interesting. Flash obviously having a horrible time as of recently, but winning his last match. Biel versus TY on merry-go-round, and then Byung versus Stats.
Yeah, I believe in the predictions for that game, actually, the Hero versus Flash one. Most of us went for Hero. I think like maybe 1 or 2 people went for Flash.
Really?
I do have to say, I feel like that is a bit misguided because he was able to break his streak of 11 games, but it was against Boom Boom.
Yeah, it was no one special.
Yeah, it was on King's Haven Station, a map that Flash has been playing over and over and over again. And he was just able to pretty much just defeat a player that's not that strong these days.
Compared to Hero, who's like always on fire, always incredibly consistent with his play, and playing damn well as it is at this time.
Yeah, of course. And I would hesitate to say that Flash is out of his slump just yet. Really have to see some more wins, some more good play out of that guy. But that is going to be, of course, game number 2. I feel like also Biel versus TY, another great game, but Byung versus Stats should be very interesting, and I think very close.
Yeah, it could be very close. A lot of these games would go either way. I feel like the only sort of one that might be a bit one-sided would be Hero versus Flash.
Yes,
but maybe Flash will show us something special in his TvP. Clearly, his TVZ needs a lot of work, and thank the stars he didn't have to get it this week.
Yeah, man.
So that's one thing he's riding on.
Definitely very true. Well, guys, we were talking about a bit before the team rankings, but here we have them on screen for you guys right now. SK Telecom T1 is in first. They are tied with CJ Entus, 4-1, but they do have 5 more indicator points up there at a +9 ranking.
That is a ridiculous lead. They've got a lot of sort of cushion to they can take a loss and still be pretty well ahead compared to everyone else. And then, I mean, look at StarTale-yoe, for instance, -2 at this point. That's 4th place. They have so much room for error. They got so much. They've created enough space to be pretty comfortable coming into the end of this round.
Yeah, they would like to win their last 2 games here, but of course, KT Rolster really looking to take today's win. I feel like today is more important for KT Rolster than CJ Entus. CJ Entus right now in second place, kind of securing themselves a spot as long as, if they lose one, win one, they should be okay to get to at least playoffs. But KT really looking to take some wins today.
Yeah, and here we go with the rankings of the winners. Zest leading the way still, despite losing those 2 games in their last match. I think it really comes down to who gets played more often as well. And obviously Zest has another chance today to get that even further of a lead. And then Innovation, 4-0, hasn't lost a game yet. And we go down the list, and who do we got today, Veldas? We got Byo playing, we got Byung playing, and
Leenox coming up later today, Losira as well.
So, definitely a possible jump in the leaderboard, big change up.
Yeah, I actually like that you mentioned that it definitely does depend on who gets played more, because if you look at the amount of games that Zest played, it's 9. And the only player that comes close right now is Byung at 7. And the others, like Innovation, is just one step down with 4 wins, but he just has not lost yet. Gonna really want to see him come out more and play more games and possibly challenge Zest. Here we go, guys, into the interview with the coaches.
You lost the first place spot. Were you disappointed? When I was not married, when our team lost, I couldn't sleep that well. I have my wife now. She's a very scary woman. She makes me sleep.
Where's this going, man?
I don't know, dude.
Well, now we're going to hear from the KT Rolster coach. Or maybe not.
Back to me, Valdez. Are you confident to get the first place back? Yes, we're very confident for today. I watched players practice. I feel very confident. I feel my players are good enough to beat their players. But we won't get too overconfident. We'll play as we practice.
So now we're going to talk to the KT Rolster coach. If you lose today, you will not be able to go to the playoffs. He says we still have a chance, and we prepared a lot for today's match. And now he's asking that Ayul is possibly releasing an album next week, something I did not know.
Interesting.
So he's asking about that. Ayul's father watched the broadcast last week because the coach kind of proposed to Ayul in the interview. I actually remember that. KT Rolster coach, a big fan of flirting with the interviewer.
Yeah.
Our players practiced well for today's match. And we're going to try to show as best of matches as we can possibly today. So, really looking forward to that. Oh, caught out on camera.
Oh, man.
Seems to be very happy.
Yeah, he was in another world, I think.
Yeah.
Mouth open and all.
He's in awe and shock at, or I guess it's shock and awe, about the amount of fans we actually have coming down here today and the setup we have.
It's a big match, Valdez. There's a lot of fans here, and I can't blame him. I think everyone really wants to see how Flash is going to do as well. But every match in this first match today is just so exciting. Like it could really go the distance for sure. No doubt about that.
Even Hero versus Flash, like we did say Hero's probably favored there, but anything could happen. You are definitely true, but let's jump into introducing our first players for the first match today. Over here for CJ Entus is SkyHgih. Not the best record. He's hovering around 42% or so, and his overall record against Protoss is 2-5. But as you said before, starting to look better and better these days.
He is looking better and better. He really had his breakout performance at the end of last year in GSL's Hot 6 Cup, where he really kind of stunned everyone with his TVT more than anything else. But he also has fantastic TVP. He's very, very aggressive. He's very good with dropping, which is pretty much the standard in today's TVP. They want to start dropping early, start doing damage with Widow Mines and Bio, and then kind of transition into the mid game, the late game. It's either pull the boys, SDV pull, or just having a much more stronger late game.
Very true. And now over to the KT Rolster player. It is Zest He's got a great record at 53 and 34. But as you guys do see, versus Terran is not his best matchup at just 8 and 8.
I would have to say his best matchup would normally be PvP, but after last week, I think he wants to go back to the go back and practice that one for a while longer after losing 2-0 to Creator.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of experience in PvP, but I also feel like his PvZ is extremely strong as well. Unfortunate that he does not get to go up against a Zerg here.
Yeah,
but,
we actually haven't seen him play PvT this year, actually, Valdez.
Wow, okay. So we're not actually sure exactly where his skill is in this matchup just yet. He's had a long time to practice for this match. And of course, it is a best-of-1 here at Pro League, the best team league in the world.
Amen
Make
to
sure
that.
you guys are telling your friends about this. We are about to jump into game number 1 between SkyHgih and Zest. Down here in the bottom right in the red for CJ Entis, the Terran player, it is SkyHgih.
Here at the 1 o'clock position, it is Zest, the Grand Master of Pro League. Rank 1.
Yeah, rank 1 on the ladder, that is Pro League.
That is the most prestige ladder in the entire world.
In the world. You're very correct.
Maybe a little bit biased based on how many times your team plays you, but it's all about
Possibly.
if you win, right? It's all about if you win.
Of course. I mean, if we're talking about how many times this guy has gotten played, he came out twice last week, and just to be totally frank here, he did not perform at all. He lost twice to Creator. In a couple of PvPs, you were talking about how strong he is in that matchup, and he just did not show up. Creator played some great games and took advantage of Zest's bad day.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has their bad days, so we can't hold it against him too much, but we'll have to see how he's going to play today. I mean, it can speak volumes how he's going to do against someone like SkyHgih, who is far less proven and should be kind of considered an underdog at this situation.
Definitely very true. So I guess we can go ahead and talk about the maps as these two players are getting synced up here in their builds.
Getting their builds on, Valdez.
Yeah.
That is right.
Just taking a look at the positions. The Terran down in the bottom right, I guess the drops not going to be as effective as if he were closer to the main. If Zest was over to the west side, as you can just drop across that left side of the map, go straight into the main.
Yeah.
Be pretty annoying.
Flight path is certainly not direct, which will give a little bit more breathing room to Zest when it comes to that mid-game when those mines and medivacs come out. And I do believe we will see that sort of style from SkyHgih. He's very good at it. He's very, very aggressive in that sort of sense. And it's going to be up to Zest to see how he's going to play, because this map, you can see a lot of Blink Stalkers on this map. It has the same kind of properties as King Sejong Station, where they have that back door where you can blink into, create a lot of counterattack sort of situations if the Terran tries to leave their base, as well as potential all-ins from Blink Stalkers as well. We'll see how late Zest wants to play this.
So SCV out on the map here for SkyHgih. Wants to get that scout on even before the Reaper comes out. He is going for the Reaper expand build, it seems. Whereas Zest, he's got a Cybernetics core on the way as well as a Zealot. May want to cancel that and go for the expand as well.
Yeah, the Reapers on this map also can get to the opponent's base pretty quickly because of that back door. So we're going to see it come in very, very soon. And Mothership Core should be out in time if it gets chrono boosted. And it will, of course. So he should be pretty safe against Reapers, and even, I think, should be able to defend against any sort of scouting that the Reaper might want to do.
Yep, Mothership Core does get chrono boosted even before the Nexus is thrown down here. So, as you were saying, going to fend off this Reaper quite fine. Reaper's going to be an annoying guy jumping in and out of the base for a while here.
A nice and early factory, Valdez. No extra barracks of any sorts for now. And I wonder what we're going to see from SkyHgih. I feel like it will be that sort of early starport play with some Widow Mines. I just thinking back to the Hot 6 Cup is the style he did show a lot. He did do it very well.
Yeah, and especially when you're coming out against a player like Zest, who's known to be pretty good in the matchup, just why not just go with what works for you and go with the style that you're comfortable with. We would love to see SkyHgih go for something like that.
All the pylons have been scouted, by the way. That Reaper got to see the one at the back left and the one next to the sort of the back door. So
also getting a probe kill. So Reaper has been pretty valuable for SkyHgih so far.
Actually, so you got a probe went down, but the Reaper did not get the kill. I believe maybe the Mothership core might have accidentally misclicked if we did see a probe go down.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Reaper actually doesn't have a kill. You're totally correct on that. Maybe the Mothership core.
Bit of a mistake. Twilight Cancel scouted out. Very nicely done from SkyHgih. He knows exactly what's coming. He knows the timing that it's coming. And it is going to be that Blink Stalker play. Sort of keep them contained. Good for defense. Have to wait and see when he puts it down. Adding actually a Robo before he actually commits to anything with the Blink.
Yeah, I actually like that kind of play. You know, just get the Blink for defense. Like you were saying, SkyHgih definitely liking to go for drop-oriented play. Blink is very good at defending in your base. He doesn't even need to go for Blink, actually, because it did get scouted. May just want to rush out another tech.
Yeah, like, I guess he didn't really have enough time to cancel it. He's going to start it now. So he just wanted to save enough sort of gas and minerals just for the Robo facility. Get that going. So he has Observers nice and early, potential Immortals or Colossi on the way. No doubt going to be afraid of any sort of Widowmine drops, which I think is a very safe sort of assumption against someone like SkyHgih.
Yeah, SkyHgih just now making his starport, so the drops not yet able to come out. He's got a Widowmine around his production, actually, possibly protecting against Oracle tech.
Yeah.
Or any Blink that may come into the main.
Yeah, pretty much both in position to deal with any sort of Blink play, unless it comes up the natural ramp, which is less likely. Plus, we have those two Hellions. Ooh. Poking in there, triggering the Photon Overcharge. That in itself is a nice little victory, because when the aggression comes, it's going to be 100 less energy the Mothership core has.
Yeah, really nice scan here, actually. Catches pretty much everything. Sees Blink, sees also the Robo. So he's got a very good idea of what Zest is doing in his main base.
There goes the Bay and two Forges, so Zest being very greedy, and which is kind of surprising on a map like this when there's potential for a lot of aggression early on.
Definitely very true. Maybe just scared of taking that third base a little bit earlier. You know, Terran has a lot of different ways to abuse that, especially if you took the one over to the right. Terrans could just very easily get over there, drop, be annoying.
He's kind of just posturing up for defense, warping in a lot of Stalkers. From there, I think he's going to be staying on two base for some time.
Yeah.
He's going to wait till he gets into sort of the Colossi tech, start making Colossi before he even thinks about going for that natural. That third base. His natural probably will be pressured pretty soon as well. So we do see two Medivacs move across the map, a couple of Widow Mines, and a decent-sized bio army.
I'm just not sure how much this is going to get done because, you know, the Mothership core does have less energy, but it should have enough for another drop here, or rather another Photon Cannon. And already that Blink is completed, so if any Medivacs try to get into the main, it's going to be hard. But here we go. Some Hellions coming into the natural. Another Photon Overcharge coming down, but it looks like he just wants to sacrifice his Hellions here, get as much damage done as possible. Already 5 probes going down.
It's actually an impressive amount of damage. Very nicely done. I think it's a great choice. Sacking the Hellions, getting 7 probes all up, and now comes a double drop into the main base. There is no Photon Overcharge for this one.
But once again, we got the Blink, and immediately a Blink coming down. He's not able to get that Medivac.
20 HP left on that thing, so a couple more shots would have done the trick.
Yeah, SkyHgih, a very fast reaction turn around, and nice observer placement by Zest as well to spot that drop coming in.
2 more Medivacs as well as more bio moving across the map, going to maintain that pressure. Poke the, most likely going to be poking the natural with that bio, sort of try and force everything out of position. There is not going to be a Photon Overcharge for at least 20 more seconds, so he's going to have to be very careful. We are seeing 1 Colossus out.
Yeah. And as is always the case with a build like this, you have to be very careful to keep your Colossi in a good position. Do not want to get those sniped by a high number of Marauders. We've seen that happen to Protosses before, namely Myungshik got torn apart. I forget who the Terran was, but Myungshik losing a couple of his Colossi out there by a very nicely timed drop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at most of Marine King's successful games, and it's because he does stuff like that. Same with Maru. Like, they're not afraid to jump forward with enough Marauders and take down Colossi in seconds if there's not enough sort of buffer for them or force fields.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that you mentioned Maru because he was quite famous for doing that on Outboxer with the third base for the Protoss pretty far out, taking some really interesting fights there, sniping Colossi.
Young, I think. Young was also very good on that map. I think he was actually kind of got his name because of that map.
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually why that question was suggested to Byung, the one in the English 10 questions, 10 answers segment with Sojung.
Oh, I love that segment. I want to be that guy that hits them with the mallet.
Let's see if we can't get that working, actually. We'll talk to them about getting Moonblade in there, hitting the guys on the head with the mallet.
Oh, yeah.
Should be pretty funny.
Back to the game. Third Colossus on the way. We do see double upgrades going as well. So, you know, Zest in a pretty powerful position, taking that third finally, but you know what? SkyHigh's third has been going for a great deal longer. We are seeing a poke with some Marauders, not finding anything.
He's just distracting, actually, for this big drop over here. Only 3 of those medevacs do have units, but look at this, a huge number of Stalkers as well as cannons over there. He should be just fine. And some Colossi over here with Zealot, support, and sentries. He should be okay at the third base as well.
Zest has really done his homework for this guy. He is in position for everything. The one threat would be this natural, but he's already warping in for it. At the same time, we do see a big amount of Stalkers in the main base waiting for that 4 medivac drop to just try and make its way in.
This is the point in the game where the Terran is trying to get damage done, but if you, as the Protoss, you're being this greedy with upgrades and tech, if you're able to hold off all damage, you are going to come out ahead. Here we go, another drop at the third base. Widowmine's coming down, some pretty big hits on the Zealots. A nice split there at the end, though. Will save some of those sentries. I believe one of those did survive.
One survived, yeah. So not bad. I mean, he took a little bit of shield damage on his Nexus, but that is it. So far, Zest just looking impenetrable. We are seeing more Bio and Widowmines moving up there, and that's only 2 Colossi and 5 Zealots that some are damaged, and they're going to be taking more damage from those 2 Widowmines that Zest has not dealt with yet.
Yep, SkyHgih really focusing on taking down this third base. In the meantime, Widowmine shots go down. A huge drop at the same time as coming in by ground. Those Colossi are not protected in the back. The Widowmines, nice shots once again, but actually the Colossi do not go down.
Yeah, it's just a little too much damage. That third Colossi coming in at the right time. Gonna have to use our observers to get rid of these Widowmines. They cannot afford to go off again.
And you know, the other part of that was the 2-2 upgrades had just finished for the Protoss, so those army units were so tough and doing a ton of damage. You got a lot of Stalkers for the defense.
You really noticed the damage. I mean, like, those Marauders went down so quickly from just 2 Colossus with just a minimal amount of sort of buffering with Zealots and Stalkers.
Yep. And now we're hitting a part of the game where 3-3 is coming this way for the Protoss. He's got a third base up and running. He has 5 Colossi. Terran's not in a great spot here.
Pretty behind in upgrades. 2-2, yeah. Half done. That is not good. Not good for a timing. We are seeing a lot of Bio move across the map. SkyHgih looking for another way in, but he's not finding it. Not at all. We are still seeing a pretty decent-sized force in the main base ready to deal with anything that tries.
Yeah, we also see a huge number of, well, not a huge number, but a very nice number of observers out on the map in really nice spots, able to consistently spot the army of SkyHgih wherever it is out on the map. SkyHgih has been trying to get some nice scans down and clean those observers up and try to limit the view of Zest. But
yeah, just looking for that position, because when it comes to this sort of part of the game, it all comes down to positioning. You got to have that perfect sort of position for your Vikings to start working on those Colossus before the fight even begins. Otherwise, your Bio just takes simply too much damage.
Oh,
now seeing a big drop into the main. A scan goes off. He's going to try. Nope. Good idea, I think.
Yeah, that was a lot of units. He could even come from behind as well. Just so many Colossi on the map at this point, as well as Blink Stalkers to guard against the drops. SkyHgih looking for a way in, but not really finding it just yet.
Just perfect positioning and defense from Zest. And we do see that really nice observer sort of location in the middle of the army. Ooh, takes a little bit of a Widowmine hit on one of his Stalkers. I think we missed that.
Yep, we got the boys being pulled here. I don't think it's all of the boys, but it is a sizable amount of SCVs, maybe 20 in the mix.
Like, Zest's going to try and make this happen before they actually make it there. Not a bad idea. That's a lot of Colossi. 6 at the moment. Here we go, Valdez.
Coming in, the Colossi in the back doing huge splash damage. The Vikings being cleaned up so fast by all the Stalkers, but where are the Zealots? Does he have enough to tank? Some Marauders on the right are coming in and sniping some Colossi, but once again, the Protoss having those upgrades, you winning this fight by a huge margin, actually, and able to pull them back.
Yeah, that was a perfect fight, and 3-3 had been finished for that fight as well, and really just nice great army control from Zest. He had those Stalkers on top of the Vikings the moment the fight began. There was simply too many Colossi for them to be all focused down in time.
Yep.
And the damage was too much.
Definitely was. He keeps 3 Colossi alive. He's making 4 now. There are not that many Vikings out of the map, only 3. And now we're going to begin with the Dark Templar harass at the same time. We'll see if SkyHgih is prepared for this one.
Well, looking at his bases, he does have a turret in the third base in the main, but nothing in the natural. So it can definitely get in and do some work. Ghost Academy has been finished as well. Looking at the upgrades, 3-3 half done for the Terran. There's some catching up still to do. I don't know if they want to engage before 3-3 is finished as well. So I feel like Zest has a lot of breathing room at this point. We do see he has the Templar Archives, but not upgrading Storm just yet. Maybe just saving it for the Archons for now.
2 DTs coming in at the third base. Only getting 1 or 2 SCVs there. Now he's trying to split them up. But a scan should be able to kill both of them. Going up to 3 SCV kills here.
And that's an interesting fourth base from Zest. I guess in a way it's a little bit easier to defend compared to the top or the top left, top sort of bases. But still, very, very close to where SkyHgih is. And he is moving across the map. He could actually pick it off and get out alive. We do see 2 Templars in position, but Storm far from finished.
The one thing about this, actually, as our observer did point out to us, is that it is not scouted, and SkyHgih just does not know yet. So, oh, look at this, a huge blink forward. Zest taking some damage there, but will get out alive.
Kept that observer alive as well. It's simply not enough Marines in that little bioforce that moves across the map. 3-3, finishing now. Looking at the Viking count, 9 Vikings to 5 Colossus. You're going to need a few more Vikings for it to be really worth it, I think. You just need a few more to kind of start one-shotting the Colossi. But now that Stormers are going to be on the map as well, things just get a whole lot more complicated for SkyHgih.
Yep, especially at that 4th base, he's going to take those 7th and 8th gases. So the amount of High Templar that are going to be coming out here is a huge amount. He's just going to have a very, very strong army. Did get that +1 to shields, I believe, as well. Oh, wow, that DT actually stays alive. And look at this. SkyHgih is not messing around this time once again, pulling a lot of the boys.
Yeah, this is his last chance. He has to make it happen now, but with Storm, pulling the boys isn't the same. It's just going to get mashed. It's just once Zest has identified this and he's in position for it, he has enough Templar, I think he could crush this army pretty good, so long as he doesn't lose all of his Colossi in an awkward position.
Zest is so good at army control against stuff like this. He doesn't want to lose this Colossus, though, and he does keep it alive. And here we go. Where are the force fields?
Where are the Templar? We don't see many. We actually see the massive Storm from the natural. Oh, that did so much damage.
Oh, and look at these Vikings out of position, not even getting some shots onto the Colossi.
Wow.
And the Stalker's able to kill a huge amount of them. And right now, four Colossi still remain. He's got High Templar from the side. Huge storms coming down. And SkyHgigh's just running at this point, man.
He has to. That is perfect storms. I've never seen storms do that much damage. That would be like thousands of damage in just a couple of storms. And these Vikings, what are these Vikings doing? They're above the third base. Completely useless, horrible positioning.
Oh, man. Now Zealots with charge and DTs, as well as Blink Stalkers coming in. Look at all those super low units from all the stims and the storms. Look at this. The Zealots just dancing.
Yep.
This game is over, boys. Zest has done it.
80 supply lead. There is no way SkyHgih can come back from this. It's going to make him wait it out there.
Yep, he's going to try his best. Colossus trying to dance forward, but he does pay with his life.
Wow, we're actually seeing SkyHgih move down the ramp. Looks like he's just going to go for one last try. One last hurrah, but nothing's going to come of it. That's simply way too much. I mean, 100 supply lead at this point. GG! That's just way too solid. He knew exactly what he had to do against this kind of opponent. Just defend, defend, defend until you get to that death ball.
Yeah, man. Zest, that was like kind of a learning experience even for myself in my latter games. I'm like, oh, so if you just defend and you play greedy enough but you're able to defend all harass, basically, I don't know if any of the harass that SkyHgih did actually did any considerable damage.
I mean, the only thing that did anything was the Hellion run by. It did 7 probes of damage, which is fantastic, but after that, nothing happened again. He had drops everywhere, but he could not find a way in. So, just a solid rock wall there.
Yep.
Defense from Zest.
Zest able to take it on Catallena, not scared of Terran on that map at all. And with that win, going to put KT ahead 1-0 as we go into Hero versus Flash. Will be the second game of the night.
And this should be a very interesting game, Valdez. It's going to be on Overgrowth. And we get to see Flash not play against the Zerg, which, granted, not struggle against the Zerg, which is going to be fantastic to see and refreshing. So I feel like this could be one of his better matchups.
Yeah, it's going to be Flash's first game here in 2015 against a Protoss. So we get to see actually where his TVP is and how he's come along. He's going to have a real test of it, though, going against Hero. I feel this is CJ's biggest chance to kind of swing the momentum back in their favor. I think they are definitely favored in this matchup. Hero playing extremely well these days.
He is absolutely playing well. He did have a little bit of a stumble in recent times. Let me get into that in just a second when we get into then kind of their introductions, Valdez. I don't want to spoil.
No, I
don't want to spoil the stats just
sure.
yet, you know. But it definitely should be Hero's game to win. Overgrowth, not a bad map at all for Protoss. Pretty straightforward. A lot better than Catallena, I would have to say. A lot less drop potential.
Definitely. Guys, we have tons of people coming down to the studio every night for Pro League and the Neighbor Star League. So if you were thinking about coming to Korea, definitely book a ticket. You can be like that guy who got on camera and was super surprised, but was then super happy that he was here for Pro League.
Yep. I mean, it's a happy occurrence here. It's really heating up. I mean, it's getting to the end of the first round, and teams are just bringing out the big guns, as you can see today. It's the sickest